everyone. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for being patient yesterday as we got through Kyle's third start of the season. We're just going to go ahead and jump right into questions. Travis Harding, do you want to lead us off?
Yes. Hold on one second. Okay, Kyle, how much have you been dying to just get this done, get it over with, get it announced, and get it out there?
Definitely want to get this, done and over with. That way, everyone involved can, focus on what they need to focus on, and I can allow myself to focus on, what I need to do, and that's pitching baseball games and winning.
And to follow up, was it difficult last night, or was it just kind of relaxing, actually being on the mound and pitching and not having to worry about this?
I kind of fought with that idea, and I ultimately, ended up telling myself, this is such a great thing that I get to just relax, go out there, focus on pitching, don't have to worry about a thing, and then just truly focus on my craft and try to leave the team in a great position to win a ball game.
Kyle, I know this is a dream come true for you, being born and raised in Colorado, obviously having spent the last couple of years here, but to sign this deal, what does that say to fans? You were a fan of this team, so now what is your message to the fans in Denver?
Be very excited for the future. Bill and the front office have done an incredible job of helping us line up what we need to line up, starting right now and moving forward. So, I would say to the fans, be very excited for this year and the years to come with what we have going.
Kyle, you're a competitive guy. I know you want to make the playoffs and do well. What gives you the confidence that being here for long term, this team will be able to make it there?
Look at the group of guys that we have right now. A strong core group of us have been together for a long time and are sticking together for the next handful of years. So that right there shows that we're bought into winning. We're bought into getting to the playoffs, winning in the playoffs, and ultimately winning a World Series with the Colorado Rockies.
Kyle, as you were going through this process, was there ever a time when you felt you had any doubts about whether you'd stay with the Rockies, whether it would work out, and that confidence that you mentioned, or the excitement fans should feel? Did you feel that all the way through there, or?
Whenever contracts are negotiated, I feel like with anybody, there's going to be back and forth. A lot of different emotions are going to be flying around on both sides. But ultimately, ended up extremely happy with what we have moving forward. Both sides are happy. When I talked with Bill after we settle on everything, he was extremely happy. I'm happy. My family's happy. So overall, happy.
And did you ever give yourself the chance to think about alternatives? Did you ever enter into that?
Those thoughts definitely cross your mind. But ultimately, for me. And my wife helped me out a ton with this decision. Was I looked around this clubhouse 2 starts ago when I was just sitting in my locker, and I saw a lot of my teammates in there, and I was like, you know what? These are guys that I love going to battle with, that I want to continue to go to battle with. I love hanging out. I love coming to the ballpark and spending time with them. And that goes top to bottom, not only players but staff, training staff, strength coaches, and front office. So when I told my wife that. About a week or so ago, she's like, you know what, I'm going to stop you right there. That's your answer right there.
Great.
Kyle, getting a long-term contract is a pretty big deal. When you were a kid, or when you were going through a rough patch a couple of years ago, did you ever imagine you would make it to this point, or did you just always have the confidence you would get here?
In 2019, no, I did not have the vision that I would be signing a 5-year extension with the Rockies and potentially spending the greater part of my career here. It was a rough year, but at the same time, you gotta somehow come out of it and persevere.
Kyle, if you can you describe your relationship with Bud Black on and off the field?
Buddy's one of those guys that's gonna continue to instill confidence, not only in me but every guy that we have in our clubhouse. As you guys know, he's an ex-pitcher. He's a pitching coach. He's a pitching manager. Where he can be hard on us sometimes, but that's because he knows the talent level and skill set that we have, and he wants to make sure that he's squeezing every bit out of us that he can, and knows and trusts our stuff and what we can accomplish on the mound.
Kyle, with this 5-year extension, the option for the 6th year, how much have you begun to think about your legacy and what you want to do here now for the next half decade plus?
Haven't thought too much about it just because of the craziness over the past few days, but it's something that I'll definitely start thinking about. The kind of impact that I want to leave on and off the field here in Colorado. Whether it's helping out Special Olympics or the numbers that I do for my career statistics. Those are things that I'm gonna have to sit down and think about and find out what I truly want to accomplish here.
Kyle, these tend to be individual decisions and family decisions, but how much did you talk to your teammates about it, and how much did decisions like Ryan McMahon and Chris Bryant figure into this?
They figured into it quite a bit. I know, with Max signing, I truly started to see, everything shaping the way that we wanted to shape with Bill's vision and Dick's vision in our front office. Obviously, the Chris Bryant signing was massive since the tail last year. Bringing Crone back on to 2 year, those things, those pieces start falling into place, and I was able to start seeing the big picture of everything, and it was something that I wanted to buy into.
Cal, there's probably nobody that knows pitching the way you do it in Colorado and for the Rockies. Can you say something about what you've seen in your life, not just your career, but of Rockies pitching and what it means to be part of this generation that has really taken the pitching to another level?
I think, myself, Marquez, and Senzatella, over the years, we have done a good job of creating our own formula of how to get outs efficiently here at Coors Field at altitude. Gomber and Chad are buying into that as well, where they're showing success here at Coors Field. Chad had countless amount of ground balls the other night, and that's one of the things that's going to give us success. And I think we've allowed ourselves to create our own formulas of how to get outs here and have success at Coors Field. And
just back to that first part of the question, can you trace some of the origins of what you saw of pitchers and what you were able to take from the folks you saw, either to take or to avoid, or whatever?
I think it's just our own brand.
Yeah.
Growing up, altitude was never a thing that played a part in my mind. I didn't understand it, didn't know why it affected, the baseball. I really didn't understand it until I got into pro ball when, the Rockies, hammered changeup into my brain nonstop. We're like, you need that at Coors Field to get the ball on the ground because ball flies there.
Great, thanks.
Hey Kyle, I know as a pitcher you have a lot of work to do and you have to focus on that day and whatever, but so many things are out of your control. You don't get to choose who drafts you and who lets you make your debut, etc. But have you at all this week looked back and thought about how it's weirdly sort of perfect it's all fallen together? That the Rockies were the one that drafted you and debuted you, etc.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? It's just, you can't script it any better than this. Get drafted in the first round by your hometown team you grew up watching. You work your way through the farm system. You end up debuting at home on the home opener. End up having good success with the team, and then they end up extending you for 5 years. Potentially, greater part of my career will be spent with the Colorado Rockies, a team that I grew up loving, watching, and coming to games as a fan.
Anything else for Brian?
Kyle, being a Colorado kid, growing up and playing baseball here, and then you get to Coors Field and you get to play. How much did it factor in, like, I want to stay in Colorado, and also did it matter to you that, you said an example for other kids in Colorado to play baseball, not to be a pitcher or a position player, but did that factor in your mind when you signed this deal that I'm a Colorado kid, and they set the example for the kids to make sure they still play baseball and to stay here?
Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't be, afraid just because, the factors here in Colorado. You got to kind of look at it as a challenge to take it on. It's exciting to show that, you can have success here at Coors Field at altitude. And, if that's something that you want to chase after, I say go for it.
Wait, to follow up, I got a baseball question. Because it came up yesterday with Buddy too, actually. But what is it? You have the lowest home ERA among Rockies over the last six years, basically since you debuted. What is it about you that works so well here? Is it your style or just how you think of the place? What is it that works so well?
That's a good question. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's my brand of pitching. How I attack hitters here. Understanding that there are factors at play that I can't control. So I have to make sure that I'm extremely sharp and focused on executing my pitches in the bottom of the zone, keeping hitters off balance, getting that ball on the ground as much as possible, allowing the defense to do their thing and turn double plays, get me out of jams.
Kyle, there was a time when you were growing up that a number of Rockies, Helton and the pitchers Cook and Francis, a bunch of guys signed all at once. Does this remind you of that? And were you aware then that that's what they were doing?
Back then, I was not aware that that's what they were doing, but obviously it kind of pieces itself together, right? They were doing it back then. They had success back then, and we're doing it now, and we're looking to have success now and moving forward in the future.
Anything else for Kyle?
Just got some closing remarks, if that's right. I'd like to thank my agents, Jonathan and Mike, who worked tirelessly to get this done. I want to thank the Rockies front office for having me be a part of this organization for the greater part of my career moving forward. I want to especially thank my wife, who ultimately helped me make this decision. And it's very special, and what she was able to do to help me have a clear mind was incredible. So I want to thank them.
Thank you, Kyle.
That's
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Thanks. Everyone but Black.